Hello, I'm Darren again. The topic for today's video comes from questions asking if I would outline the nature of and the different kinds of covert abuse. Now, covert abuse is typically associated with a covert, sometimes referred to as a vulnerable narcissist. And although there are many similarities with overt narcissism, such as entitlement, a lack of empathy, and being disagreeable, covert narcissism differs in the sense that what we often see is introversion, a sense of helplessness and shyness, rather than extroversion and arrogance. An overt narcissist can throw a stone and laugh. A covert narcissist can throw a stone, say that it wasn't me that hurt you, it was the stone, deny the victim is in pain, and then weep openly because the victim was rude to their favorite stone. With overt narcissism, the abuse is often in your face. It is aimed at being destructive, at humiliating and domineering, even if it's disguised as humor or righteousness. With covert narcissism, the abuse is often under the radar. It is insidious by nature. It makes victims doubt their own sanity. It isn't abuse, it's for the greater good. It's in their own best interest, or it's in the best interest of the relationship. With overt narcissism, people figure out pretty quickly that they're being bullied, they're being mistreated. With covert narcissism, many victims aren't sure whether or not they're being abused or whether or not they are the abuser. So although there are many overlaps in the tactics with both overt and covert narcissism, there are still differences, and I will outline them in this video. And for the sake of the video, I will just refer to partner. However, the dynamics could apply to any kind of long-term relationship with a covert narcissist, be it a friend, a parent, a family member, whatever. So to start with, covert abuse typically begins with a process of laying a few foundations. When meeting a covert narcissist for the first time, they're usually struggling or living with some kind of difficulty or challenge, or they have some kind of tragic backstory. Now, these things may well be true, but more often than not, they may be exaggerated or even just made up. But what they're doing is they are setting in place their future get out of jail free card. These issues are also used to reel people in, to rescue them. They want to be helped, but no one and nothing can take away their pain or their struggles. There is constant negativity, but they are trying to be positive in spite of all their issues. And regardless of how the narcissist behaves, the partner has to tread carefully in case they cause further upset and pain. In the early days of the relationship, covert narcissists claim to be good listeners. They are sensitive, caring, and empathetic, and yet they show poor listening skills. They're either off in a world of their own or thinking about how they can turn the conversation into being about them, or maybe thinking how they can use this information at a later date. And it's as the relationship develops you begin to see the poor listening. They can answer a completely different question to the one that's just been asked. They can talk over the top of someone about a completely different subject. If the partner responds, they might be accused of interrupting. Eventually, the partner might speak, ask a question, and the narcissist just looks at them, says nothing, goes back to what they're doing without even acknowledging them. And the partner is led to believe there is something wrong with them, with how they communicate, because they never seem to be understood. When they are talking, covert narcissists don't always communicate open and directly. Rather than just ask for what they want, they might ask, would you like to do that for me? Or would you like to get me one of those? Or when they are communicating or explaining something, they use nonsensical word salad. The partner is often left trying to decipher what they really mean, or being led to believe there's something wrong with them for not understanding. Another example of covert communication is how they might imply things without actually saying it directly. They communicate almost like they're leaving a trail of clues. The partner has to figure out what it is or ask more questions. For instance, a close friend is very ill. Well, who and what's wrong with them? Or a family member needs help. Well, who? What family member? Your dad? Your cousin? What help do they need? And the answers they get are often just more clues. Covert narcissists can shame by bringing others in. They might say things like, other people have noticed this about you, or other people were shocked when they heard that you whatever. This can lead victims to doubt themselves even further, and sometimes it has the effect of them avoiding certain people because they fear their opinions. This further adds to the isolation. Like all narcissists, covert narcissists live in a fantasy world of being special and important. They fantasize about a better life, but do nothing about it. In fact, many sabotage themselves and their partners just to stay in a state of unfulfillment. They fantasize about having a better partner and tend to compare their partners unfavorably to others as they continually criticize their efforts. And as much as they may treat their partners as if they don't matter, they can be quite possessive and jealous of them. They might accuse them of cheating without having any evidence or flirting with people just because they said hello. And they might even use excuses like it's because their last partner cheated on them, it is their low self esteem, it is their insecurity. And what we see here is a recurring theme with covert narcissism. It is them attacking, sometimes with venom, but they attack from the position of victimhood. As I said earlier, the partner has already been conditioned to believe that they are wounded and hurt, so they must be treated with kid gloves. They need reassurance because of all the terrible things that have happened to them. And if the partner does speak up or speak out, covert narcissists might suddenly behave as if they are terrified. So the partner has to back down, reassure them and comfort them, even apologize for re-traumatizing them. And just like with overt narcissism, covert narcissists aren't comfortable with intimacy. They tend to shift away from it, shy away from it. Overt narcissists will set a lot of ever-changing, shifting standards and conditions that their partners will never meet, so they're led to believe that they're not good enough. Although covert narcissists do the same, there can be a difference in approach. A common excuse for a lack of connection or a lack of intimacy might be something like, the relationship isn't perfect enough. If the partner were to ask, well, what would make it perfect? Generally can't answer. They might just give a vague answer like, I'll just know, I'll feel it, or if you really love me, you wouldn't have to ask. And here we see the victims being led to believe they are responsible for their own rejection, their own neglect, their own abuse, but unable to do anything to change it. Next, a common characteristic of narcissism is being disagreeable. With covert narcissism, we see no compromise on anything. Their feelings are evidence. They might claim to be principled or to have too much self-respect for themselves, but again, we see little evidence of that in their behavior. Anything the partner needs is unreasonable. It creates a burden. Anything that they want, they will keep on by wearing the partner down, not respecting their boundaries, not respecting their no. It's not uncommon that when they do hear the word no, covert narcissists will go into victim mode, collapse in a depression, just want the world to end. There is no interest in resolution, only winning, only getting what they want. Next, a covert narcissist can see that their partner is hurting, but might not understand why. After all, they are entitled to behave the way they do, make whatever demands they want. Due to their lack of empathy, they either don't care, or they don't understand, or just refuse to accept that it has anything to do with their behavior. There must be something else going on with the partner, something they must sort out themselves, because it is having an impact on their relationship. And that being said, covert narcissists can agree to things, they can be accommodating at times, but have no intention of following through with what was agreed. They can change their minds very quickly, or perhaps they just agreed to it to keep the other person quiet. There's no challenging them for not honoring anything that was agreed. They might even just claim they don't remember the conversation or that is not what they said. Curiously, though, they do have a pretty long memory when it comes to things that hurt them. They can be both vindictive and unforgiving, bring up things from years ago that always seem to just simmer somewhere under the surface. They'll talk about past moments as if they are right in the here and now, to justify their behavior, to reinforce their narrative that it is the partner who is the aggressor. Partners are led to believe that they are inherently wrong, bad and wicked for hurting a hurt person. Now, with covert narcissism, what we sometimes see are moments of clarity, moments of honesty, but they don't last long. For instance, they may see they've went too far, they really have hurt their partner, and they may apologize, but they can't hold that for long. It very quickly becomes a justification of why they had to behave that way, or what the partner did to provoke that. There may be moments of honesty. They might say, if I were to agree with you, or if I were to say yes, it feels as if you're in control, you have power over me. But again, that becomes quickly retracted if there's any further exploration or acknowledgement of that level of honesty. They might realize that both parties are unhappy and something needs to change, but struggle to accept their part in the difficulties. They just dig their heels in, expect the other person to just accept it or be more accommodating or to change to suit them. If the partner is leaving, they may feel genuine regret. They do not want the partner to go. They may even ask, are you prepared to give it another try? Can we try this again? But they would struggle to answer if the partner were to ask, what would be different? And the now ex-partner is vilified for abandoning them. So to summarize, covert narcissists see pain, suffering, and grief everywhere. They never really show any kind of optimism, and they abuse while claiming to be in pain and anguish. They abuse while claiming to love. They abuse while claiming they're only trying to iron out the flaws in the partner. They want to be both adored and rescued, but their tactics often erode the souls of anyone who comes close. They push them away and then claim that they are the victim. They abuse and manipulate through blaming and shaming, shutting down conversations, so there's never any resolution or moving forward. They're both envious and jealous. Their constant need for attention has them feel uncomfortable if others, even their own children, are receiving any. And just like an overt narcissist, you never really get to know them, only about them, and only what you can discern from that repeated pattern of behavior. So that's a brief outline of the insidious nature of covert abuse. As always, there are many things I could have added. Please feel free to use the comment section below. There are some interesting conversations start around these videos. But if you find